Hello everyone, welcome back to Durbanites FPL for Game Week 30 review and Game Week 31 preview. This is it guys, the blanks are here finally. 4 teams not playing this week, and let's see what that means starting with the table from last week. So looking at that, we've got Roboclop still very much at the top, looking to stream away. Every week is just another point added to it now. 200, almost 200 points away with just 8 more game weeks left for most of the teams. I'm up there in second, but as you can see, it's quite tight underneath that between third and sixth. There's just 11 points there. We can go down a bit more, 15 points up to 7. So between third and seventh, quite a bit of battle happening there. Coconut Strand looking a bit more comfortable in 8th and starting to encroach on 7th. Look at that, just picking up the points one way. And then you've got Ami there still holding on in 10th place, fighting off the advances from Fatih, having another good week but losing some ground. Look at Mobeen also starting to move up. Is the champion making a late charge? Is it too late to catch up with 330 points on the leader? Most probably, but stranger things might have happened. And Fatality Team is also in there. But look at Iron Wall FC also jumping up this week. Quite a lot of battles happening all over the table. But with that, let's actually go in and deep dive into the data. Looking at the Friday player selection. So Staples doesn't change much from last week. Anton Semenyo still holding on, Erling Haaland as well, Gabriel Magalhaes, so no changes there guys. Then looking at the differentiators, just a few and almost all at the back in the middle. William Saliba coming in, 2 managers having him on their teams. Dominic Soboslai coming in with 3 managers. Bruno Fernandes with 6 managers now having him on their team. He's starting to move up for sure in the favourites ranking. And Marcus Senesi just under the threshold, 45% or 9 managers out of the 21. Holding on to Marcus Senesi for that double point haul this week. Now, if we move further from there and look at what the best team would look like, so if we move on further than there into the hits and misses, we can see that defense all the way, guys. Only defensive contributions. From the attacking point of view, not much to talk about. But for the Stonewalls, quite a few. Myself, Hassan, Didi, Azra, Atta, Fatih, Mohammed, Sadiq is in there, Squish is in there, My Bhai is in there, Umer again for that Stonewall. And the Iron Wall, even more as well. Sugand is in there, Ami is in there, Mubs is doing now, and Umer again with his second team. But only one standout as well. Zai is in there, 40 plus points with the Titanium Wall. Almost perfectly positioned that defense this week. With all that, Atta also misses out an important 20 points, so losing ground, sitting on the bench unfortunately this week. So looking at that, let's look at what the best team would have looked like. So we have Verbruggen at the back, Reyes sitting on the bench because of price, William Saliba and Gabriel joining Verbruggen, Saliba getting the captain's armband, Malik Tor is in there, Senesi in there, and Lacroix as well, making sure that they push out guys like Cunha, Gyökeres, and Thiago on the bench. That defense was too strong this week. McAllister is in, Alexis McAllister making it onto the pitch as well. And then we've got Bruno Fernandes, Dominic Soboslai, and Dango Utara making up that strong midfield. Only Richarlison, the saviour of Tottenham Hotspur, managing to get onto the pitch as far as the forwards. And of course, that makes up the team. Not a particularly high scoring team, guys. 112 points and only 140 from the bench. But a modest cost of 98.9 still should be pretty affordable for most managers as well. So when we take that into consideration and start looking at the matchups, as we can see, we've got some good picks this week, even though we can see that we have 4 teams glaring misses there. Aston Villa's got a good run of games with Notts Forest in the middle there, so the next 3 should be good, but they are severely underperforming at this moment in time, really stretched with that European schedule as well. So there's a few picks that we could go through from there. Brentford are showing a lot of signs of life, and they've got Leeds, Everton and Fulham coming up, so games where they could score even if they don't win, but they're quite well positioned and they have a chance to push for European football next season, so it's really, really big for this club as well. And then you've got Fulham, so Fulham have some tough times coming up. As you can see, their next 4 games after Burnley, very, very tough indeed before they get to Bournemouth, Wolves and Newcastle. But this week is Burnley. Burnley are indeed the club that is on probably the worst run of form, except for Spurs has been. So a chance for them to pick up some points before that tough run comes in. Liverpool themselves have got Brighton this week, then Fulham, Everton, Crystal Palace before they get into a tough run into the end of the season. Man City are blanking, of course, this week. Manchester United still with some tricky fixtures, but they are on great form still and scoring pretty freely at this moment in time. So would back them to have some good results out of this. There are indeed more tougher games because of the blanks as well. You can see that Bournemouth, Brighton, Chelsea as well. Tough games coming up. Everton for sure. And then you've got Man City because of the blank, Nottingham Forest, and Sunderland. Now, Man City are blanking this week, then come back into Chelsea and Arsenal for that showdown for the Premier League title before going into a fairly okay run for the end of the season, but definitely Arsenal have the advantage on that. And so we look at Wolves with a pretty good run, but we're not calling them out just because their form is not there. But guys, if you're looking to close up the gap in that a mini league of ours, then probably Wolves are the players that you want to look at as well. Now, looking at that, guys, let's move ahead to look at the players that we're choosing. So, Roofs is still doubtful for Sunderland. Jorgensen is out for Chelsea, but that should see Sanchez coming onto the field. Our picks for goalkeepers are Emi Martinez for the next 3 games for Villa, Allison from Liverpool, and Kelleher from Brentford. On the defensive side, Chelsea have a lot of trouble in defense currently. Colwell's out for the entire season. Chaloba's now out, as is Reece James with his hamstring, and Gusto's doubtful. Newcastle still missing Shearer at the back, but they have Livramento and Hall back, and they're doing really well. Guardiola are still out for Man City. Dorgu are still out for Manchester United. Cash is still doubtful for Aston Villa, but could be a good pick if he gets some minutes. Tarkowski is still doubtful for Everton after missing last week with a late fitness check. Ballard and Mukiele still in doubt, at least for Sunderland. In terms of the picks, we're going Aston Villa heavy with Digne and Cash. Joachim Anderson for Fulham as well. Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahima Konate are our choices for Liverpool. Konate has been missing some minutes in favour of Joe Gomez, so that might be the issue. But of course, it is just a cost differentiator between the two. And then we've got Collins from Brentford, Malik Tor, and Lewis Hall from Newcastle as the picks based on their recent performances. And then looking at the midfield, again, Spurs are still reeling. João Palhinha is still not back from that concussion check. Not sure whether he'll get a start or whether he'll come in to gain some minutes, but Madison, Kulusevski, and Kudus are still out. Spurs are getting a few players back. They are on a fairly good run of form. Winning against Atletico Madrid was quite a boost for them. They have Notts Forest in a relegation battle this week. Let's see how it will work out. Mo Salah has picked up a bit of a knock after that superb performance against Galatasaray. Mikel Merino and Jack Grealish are still out, as is Lewis Miley and Bruno Guimaraes. Sandro Tonali is doubtful after picking up a knock against Barcelona in that European game that saw them get knocked out. And then you've got Yuri Tielemans for Aston Villa, who's out, but John McGinn, his partner, is in. Which brings us to the recommendations. Rodgers, Douglas Luiz, and John McGinn are the call-outs from Aston Villa. Rodgers has severely underperformed after having a fantastic start to the season. But if you were going to punt on him, now's the time. If you've held on to him, good luck. Here's the roll of the dice. Douglas Luiz is coming back to his fantastic form on his loan from Juventus now at Aston Villa. And John McGinn has the ability to score, as we saw early in the season. Tavernier is a call out from Bournemouth currently. He's definitely the one where all the attacking play is routed in. And then you've got Szoboszlai and Wirtz at Liverpool. Again, there's a cost differential to consider there. Bruno Fernandes, the man at Manchester United. Kevin Skada and Denga Otara at Brentford are the attacking outlets. Harry Wilson and Alex Iwobi. So Wilson's a good pick for this week. Again, before Fulham have some tough weeks coming up ahead. So you might look at a sell in the weeks to come. Then you've got Anthony Gordon and Harvey Barnes at Newcastle. These two are live wires. If anyone's going to put goals in, I would back them. And then you've got Elliot Anderson, from Nottingham Forest, who are taking on Spurs. And then from Spurs, of course, Xavi Simons and Matthias Tal, the two players who've shown the most ability to actually perform and be able to create something for the goals. So moving forward from that, guys, let's look at the forward line. As you can see, the injuries are now dwindling down, but Chris Wood, Alexander Isak, and Eddie Nketiah are still out for sure. Alexander Isak has been spotted in training, so let's see if that means he might get some game time soon, but at this moment in time, he is still considered out for Liverpool. Dominic Solanke is now doubtful after a grueling match against Atletico Madrid, but let's see if he gets some minutes as well. In terms of the picks this week, no Haaland because of the blank, no Gyökeres because of the blank, So we're starting off with Thiago up front. Brentford still have a good run of games, and Thiago's starting to put goals in the back of the net again. Randall Colomwani had a fantastic performance against Atletico Madrid, playing up front in a double strike force with Dominic Solanke. Let's see if Spurs try that again against Notts Forest. Ugo Ekitike for Liverpool is definitely the only one that we could count on at this moment in time, if you're not going Cody Gakpo, but it seems that he's also picked up a bit of a knock. Ben Sesko is scoring for Manchester United almost a goal a game whenever he gets minutes. Only minutes are a risk for him, but I think it's worth it to take a punt because there are not really a lot of strikers that are firing. Tammy Abraham for Aston Villa might get more minutes than Ollie Watkins. He has been on better form than Watkins has this season, and they do have a fairly good run of games. Then you've got Raul Jimenez back from the tragedy last week, and he's playing for Fulham against Burnley, so look to him to try and maybe put in a goal to commemorate to his dad. And then you've got Nick Waltemada for Newcastle. Again, Newcastle need to start playing Nick Waltemada. They need to start getting these points, and we need to start moving forward if they're going to get into some kind of contention for European football next season. So guys, it is a Friday deadline. That's what we have for this week. It's getting tight at the top, so make sure that you make your changes or you risk falling way behind in the table. Don't forget Friday deadline, 7:30 if you are in Europe, 8:30 if you are in South Africa. Make sure to catch that deadline. Don't forget to like and subscribe and drop us a comment. Let us know what you think the outcome will be for the Spurs Nottingham Forest match. Until then, good luck for this week and so long for now.